is enough. Hal Steinbrenner, wherever you are, if you're on a cruise ship somewhere, please let us know, because it's time for you to do your job. I'm not going to rant and scream yet, but you have to uphold your father's legacy. Because if you continue to leave it in the hands of Aaron Boone, your organization will be in tatters. It's already there. You have to step up as an owner. You arrogantly gave him a contract when he did nothing to merit it. Then you arrogantly gave him a second contract where he did nothing to earn it. And you're getting what you deserve right now. This team is checked out. The fan base is more than checked out. It's time to start taking responsibility as an owner. I have no idea what you do. No one does, so I can't comment on that. However, it is your responsibility as owner of the most important organization in sports to start setting some standards here, because by God, your manager isn't setting any standards. This team is sitting in third place. Third place behind the Red Sox. Third place behind the Red Sox, behind the Blue Jays, clinging barely to a wild card spot. It is time to take responsibility. You cannot allow this to continue to happen. Every single year, it's the same thing since 2018. Since 2018. There's new excuses. And Aaron Boone is running out of excuses. And when the two most important Yankees of the modern era, A-Rod and Derek Jeter, start seeing that there's a problem, then by God, there is a problem. You can't hide anymore, Aaron Boone. You can't. I know you want to do your kumbaya, and I know you want to do your Barney the Friendly Dinosaur, but when a Mount Rushmore Yankee, a Hall of Famer, Derek Jeter, the best Yankee, the best captain in God knows how long, decades and decades and decades, says there's a problem. The man that's won you a championship 5 times, where Aaron Boone's won nothing, says there's a problem, then by God, you should listen. You arrogant piece of shit. And that's what you are, Aaron. You are an arrogant piece of shit. You are delusional, and you are an awful manager. You are the worst Yankee manager probably in history. Probably. You could make that argument. And you watch what is going on right now, and it is a massive clusterfuck. It is a massive clusterfuck. And it is time to start taking some responsibility. A-Rod can't watch you. Derek Jeter can't watch you. The fan base can't watch you for most of the time. It's more than enough time to start taking some responsibility. I'm tired of watching this. I'm tired of the excuses, of the moronic play, of getting yourself thrown out on the base paths. I'm tired of all the losing. But it's not just the losing. I'm tired of the excuses. It's the excuses that bug me, not the losing. My God, it's sports. You lose. It's okay. It's not okay, but, it happens. But it's It's not about the losing. It's about the excuses. And I know that Hal Steinbrenner has some serious daddy issues because I've never once heard him say anything positive about his father, who should be in the Hall of Fame. He was the owner that set standards, and everyone proudly upheld them. He did that. Yeah, your father did, Hal, if you're listening. Or if Zillow, your PR guy, is listening. George Steinbrenner held standards. You can say whatever you want. You can criticize him all you want. But what he did was he set standards. That's what he did. He set standards. Since Hal Steinbrenner has taken charge, the standards are hurtling to the bottom. Rock bottom. This Yankee organization is a complete mess. I've been saying it for a long, long time. They don't have a vision. They do not have a vision. It's very obvious that they do not have a vision. And if there was a series that should be a slap in the face to both Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman, should be this Miami Marlins series. Because the desperation trades that Brian Cashman made all blew up within 24 hours in his face. But it's not just about that. What about the catcher that he sent to Miami for Jazz Chisholm? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know we want to try and forget about that, but the truth is, the Yankees probably sent their best catcher to Miami. And he absolutely roasted us over the course of that series. Over the course of that sweep, we got roasted by the guy we sent to the Mariners, to the Marlins. Agustin Ramirez absolutely mashed us. And he's sitting there with 17 home runs and 50 RBIs in his rookie year. And we got Jazz Chisholm in return. Now, everyone loves Jazz Chisholm. But the truth is, Jazz Chisholm got himself thrown out on the base pass with yet another blunder. No one knows on earth what Jazz Chisholm was trying to do. On a pop-up to second base, Jazz Chisholm was standing in no man's land. He had no idea. No one had any idea what he was doing. He gets thrown out at first. No one had any idea. Jazz Chisholm, when asked if he would, knowing what happened to him, knowing that he got thrown out, costly at first base, he was asked, knowing what you know now, would you do that again? And what did Jazz Chisholm say? Yes, I would. And that is what the Yankees are. Completely unaccountable. So Jazz Chisholm was given a layup of a question. Knowing what you know now, where you got yourself thrown out on a pop-up to second base, would you do that again? Anybody with a brain cell would say, I made a mistake. I apologize. I'll never do that again. But Jazz Chisholm, double down on it. I would do it again. I played here. What does that fucking mean? What does that mean? What does it mean you played there? It doesn't matter if you're playing on the fucking moon. If there is a pop-up to second base, stay at first. It doesn't matter what ballpark you played in. That is the stupidest answer. But who sets these standards? It's not Jazz Chisholm. And it's not the first base coach either. It's Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone allows these ridiculous answers. He should have been benched. Anybody with a brain cell would have benched him for that. It was stupid. It was lazy. He didn't do it because he defends himself as Jazz, because Jazz is his buddy. And that's what the problem is in this organization. It's all buddies. They're all just friends. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, how dare you say that? Oh, do it again. What did Anthony Volpe say when he threw to the wrong base? Cost us a couple of runs. This is a couple of series ago. What did he say? Do it again. This is the modern Yankees. This is the unaccountable Yankees. This is the brain-dead Yankees. And it's more than enough time to start setting some standards here. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It would be embarrassing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It would be embarrassing for the Savannah Bananas. It would be embarrassing for anybody. But for some reason, it's not embarrassing for the New York Yankees. Because they just keep doing it again. It's been going on for months. We're the 21st best record since June 1st. We have a losing record since June. We have one of the worst, I think we probably have the worst record in baseball since the end of June. It's been like this for a long, long time, man. And it predates this season. It's been going on since 2018. Yeah, we make the playoffs. Well, congratulations. They make the playoffs in an extended wild card. It's very difficult to miss the playoffs, which we did 2 seasons ago, by the way. It's very difficult to miss the playoffs, especially with our finances and resources and the fact that we have an Aaron Judge and we have a Garrett Cole. It's very difficult to miss the playoffs. But the Yankees do a very good job of trying to. And they're trying really hard to miss the playoffs right now. Jared Williams says the Yankees are 5-17 on the road since June 13th. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. It's time to start setting some standards here. I'm going to get into some of these answers that Aaron Boone gave. And they're frankly remarkable. But this is a problem. And it's really incumbent on this fan base to start calling this out. We can't continue to allow this. We can't continue to celebrate mediocrity. Because the Yankees are desperate to celebrate mediocrity. And we're not even mediocre. We're actually below mediocre. We're bad. We're a bad baseball team. Yeah, we are. We're a bad baseball team. We've got a ton of talent, but you would never guess with the way that they play. And who's responsible for that? No, it's not the first base coach, Aaron Boone. No. It's not the roof. It's not the wind. It's not the Blue Jays turf. It's you. You arrogant, delusional, incompetent, kumbaya piece of shit manager. Let's get in the chat. Demon D in the chat. What's going on? How are you? Jacob, Donald, my brother. Jacob, my brother. Good to see you. Jacob says, smack that like button for Donald and the Pinstripe Chronicles and Yankified and all those that are part of the Pinstripe Chronicles. Please do hit that like button and sub button, because guess what? The more you guys like this, the farther this travels. If you agree that Aaron Boone needs to be fired, then hit that like button. It's not difficult. Hit that like button. If you believe that Aaron Boone should be fired, A-S-A motherfucking P, hit that like button. It's time. Hit that like button. Get this traveled out. Let's make a statement as fans. Because this podcast is for the fans. This is for you guys. I'm just giving you my opinion, but this is for you guys. If you want change, you can enforce change by really spreading this. Spreading the word. Hit that like button. Let's enforce change because, by God, Brian Cashman ain't going to do nothing. Hal Steinbrenner won't do nothing unless we speak united as fans. It's time to be united in something. Unite behind something that's real and tangible. And that's what the Yankees are. They used to be. They're no longer that. So let's get them back to that standards. Welcome, Gunther. Been saying this team was done after the second Red Sox loss. Participation trophy franchise at best. You are spot on. Demon D. Yankees are so done. I'm done with Aaron Boone. This functional Yankees, this coach is scared to manage. Amen. We need leadership. Amen. Amen. Welcome. No one is scared of the Yankees anymore. Facts. People will be happy to see Yankees on this. Why wouldn't you be? The Marlins supposed to be delighted to see the Yankees on their schedule. Evan in the chat. Donald, what's up? What's up, Evan? How are you? Got Sneal in the chat. Jared Williams. Ramirez. Yep. Uncle Tats in the chat. Salute to my boy, Uncle Tats. Me and Uncle Tats had a hell of a time at Yankee Stadium. Even though the Yankees suck, me and Uncle Tats kicked the ass out of Yankee Stadium. So he is my brother. Big love to Uncle Tats. We'll try and convince Uncle Tats to join us. If not, then big love to my man. Amir has torched us this series. And Jared agrees with him. Sure did. Former catchers owning us. Exactly. What does that speak to? Well, that probably speaks to the lack of vision and foresight from Brian Cashman. Yeah, that guy. This team is broken after Friday. Well, I think this team's been broken since day dot, bro. It's been culminating to this, though. That Jazz play was so bad, I don't even know what to say anymore. I know, Evan. I don't know what to say anymore either. Sneal says, Jazz Chisholm. Absolutely. Whatever you want. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. The Marlins look like more than a World Series team than the Yankees did. Got Sealy in the chat. Honestly, if the Oilers starts the series, I seriously will never go to another Yankee game. Well, I wouldn't recommend seeing this current iteration of the Yankees, I'll tell you that. So let's get into some of these excuses that we've heard from Aaron Boone. We've heard a lot. So let's first of all start with what A-Rod and Jeter said. So, my captain, my captain, Derek Jeter, Mount Rushmore Yankee, they make way too many mistakes. Way too many mistakes, Jeter said. You can't get away making that number of mistakes against great teams. Forget great teams. How about just mediocre teams? It just doesn't happen. You can't continue to do it. You have to clean it up. It's that simple. There's no excuses. If you don't play better, you're not going to go very far. That is spoken like a true captain. No disrespect to Aaron Judge, but I would love to hear Aaron Judge show that kind of forthrightness. Because he's the captain right now. And he's also partly to blame because he loves him some Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone's his buddy. I'm sick of buddies. A-Rod and Jeter hated each other. right? But you move on for the better good of your franchise. And they won in 2009. It's okay. Chad Curtis was probably the most hated Yankee in that dugout. But it's okay. Because the Yankees won that year. You move on. You get on with it. You don't need to be best friends with everybody. But Aaron Boone needs everybody to be best friends with everybody. It's absurd. It is absurd. Let's move on from this Barney the Friendly Dinosaur shit. Let's move on with it. Listen to Derek Jeter. Because he won 5 championships. 98, 96, 98, 99, 2000, 2009. And I was blessed to see every single one of them. Those are standards. He set standards as a captain. He knows what standards are because Joe Torre set those standards. Above him, Brian Cashman, before he turned into this little weasel, had some standards. And above him was George Steinbrenner, who set the standards. They set standards. And prior to George Steinbrenner, the heroes of Yankee lore, the Mattinglys, the Gehrigs, the DiMaggios, the Ruths, the Yogis, the Thurman Munsons, set those standards prior. This is a historic franchise, and it's more than enough time to start channeling what this organization used to represent. It used to represent something better than what we're getting right now. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Derek Jeter doesn't want to hear any more excuses. So let's listen to him. But the Yankees never will, because the Yankees are very self-satisfied. They're very delusional, and they don't think that there's a problem. I can promise them there is very much a problem. So that was what Derek Jeter said. How about A-Rod? A-Rod was even more forthright than Derek Jeter. He's sick of Aaron Boone saying that this is the best team in the league. You have to say enough with this best team in the league narrative. I don't think they are. He's right. Because we're now in August. The numbers say they're not the best team. The talent, yes, they have, which I've said they do have the talent. But you can't outrun mistakes day in and day out, both physically and mentally. Where's the accountability? If any one of us, and he was looking at Jeter and he was looking at David Ortiz, made a mistake, we'd be sitting our butts right on the bench. But I see mistake after mistake, and there's no consequences. And guess where that was targeted to? That was targeted to Aaron Boone. So it sounds to me like A-Rod's pretty sick of Aaron Boone too. So that's now Derek Jeter. That's now A-Rod. That's now the fan base. And by the way, there's now members of the media that are getting pretty sick of it too. Yeah? Bill Madden, the long-time New York Daily News writer for like 5 decades, he just tweeted that it's time to let go of Aaron Boone because this team isn't listening to him anymore. Got old Saj. Donnie, all right, old Saj. How are you? I've got a lot to say about Aaron Boone, so bear with me. This has been it's been a long time coming. It's really more than enough time now. We've seen years of this, and Aaron Boone is a clown. And it looks to me like his team have tuned out. I don't think this team is responding to him anymore. I think he's actually lost the locker room. Because this team doesn't respond to him. This team is desperate to implode. Every single game, this team is desperate to implode. And it goes down to coaching. You can't say it's coaching anymore. You can't say it's talent anymore. You can't say it's talent anymore. For all the criticism I give Brian Cashman's given Aaron Boone a very good team here. This bench is sorted. He's got a plus third baseman. Statistically, he's got a plus second baseman. He's got a plus first baseman. He's got a plus outfield. He's got a absolute mega bullpen. The excuses are up. There's no more excuses left, Aaron. The finger is now pointed straight at you. Since that trade deadline where everybody was giving Brian Cashman an A, you've gone winless. You got swept. You got swept. By the way, that's the first time we've ever been swept by the Miami Marlins in the history of the New York Yankees. So that's good. But by the way, what did Aaron Boone say about Jazz Chisholm? Here's what Aaron Boone had to say about Jazz Chisholm. Okay, he said that mistake. I can't even say it with a straight face. I don't even know how he said it with a straight face. He probably deserves an Oscar for it. He said that Jazz Chisholm's moment on the base paths was, and I quote, born out of some thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness. Wait. Did you say thoughtfulness or thoughtlessness? No, Aaron Boone actually said thoughtfulness. Are you out of your fucking mind, you fucking delusional cunt? What is wrong with you? Seriously. Thoughtfulness? Jazz Chisholm standing between first and second base. Huh? Where am I? That's thoughtfulness? Aaron Boone said he was trying to make a play. He wasn't trying to make any fucking play. There's no play to be made in a pop-up to second base. Good God. Born out of thoughtfulness? A-Rod is spot on. That there's no accountability. There's no accountability. But by the way, Aaron Boone, don't forget, Aaron Boone actually said that he disagreed with A-Rod. He disagreed. But he didn't really give any examples as to why that he disagreed. He just said he disagreed a little bit. Dude, the proof is in the pudding. Nothing has changed. So it comes down to two things, right? And either way, it means that you were a terrible manager, Aaron. Okay? So if you are holding people to account behind the scenes, it's clearly going one ear and out the other, which means that you're not a very good communicator, and it means that nobody respects you, which means that you're a bad manager. Right? So that's one option. Would you prefer that option? Because the second option is you do absolutely nothing, and this team continues to do whatever it is the fuck they do, which is not good, and lose, which also means you're a bad manager. So, which option do you like, Aaron? Do you like option one, where you're speaking to them and they ignore you? Or option two, where you ignore them and they lose anyway. Because those are the only two options. Because you could see it on the fricking field. This team has no idea what they're doing. They don't have any idea what base they're supposed to cover. They don't have any idea how to run the bases. And Aaron Boone allows it all. He's very delighted with it all. We're the best. What did he say after we lost, what was it, a record number of games? And we got shut out for like 29. I lost count of the number of innings we got shut out for. Aaron Boone held a meeting with his players. What did he tell them? He told them that they're the best team in the league and to keep it up. Hilarious. And he impressed on his team. Please don't be fazed by this. Don't be fazed by all this losing. It's really important that you don't be fazed by this. Well, they listened to him. They definitely listened to them. Because they are entirely unfazed. And they're continuing to get themselves thrown out on the base paths and continue to make some of the stupidest mistakes you'll ever see in the history of the game. And they're going to continue to lose. And now they're in third place. See, this is that's what you say when you're a player's manager. I disagree. That's not a player's manager. That's an idiot. You can have a player's manager and still uphold respect and still hold the standards of the organization. Boone, I don't know what Boone is. But he's not a good manager. I promise you. Let's go back to this Jazz Chisholm thing, because this, to be honest, that was the microcosm of where the Yankees are right now. Okay? It's the microcosm of where the Yankees are right now. That Jazz Chisholm play. Because it was certainly one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen it in my life before. I've never seen anybody on a pop up to second base, a runner at first base, stand between first and second and just stare into space. Get himself thrown out, then afterwards say that he'd do it again, and then Aaron Boone says that it was born out of thoughtfulness, that he's trying to make a play. What play are you trying to make? There's no play to be made. Aaron Boone, you're a moron. But let's go back to that. Let's talk about this. It's completely unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. He should have been benched. He should have been benched. You need to make a statement. He should have been disciplined for what he said to the media afterwards. But instead, Aaron Boone's like, oh, it was born out of thoughtfulness. It was really thoughtful. Please explain to me what's thoughtful about that. Right? Come on. Do you really think that we're that stupid? And I know the answer to that. Yes, the Yankees do think that we're that stupid. It's very frustrating. How are we supposed to root for this team? Because they're so arrogant and they're so delusional and they hate their fans this much. And they clearly hate their history because they're ignoring everything that this Yankee organization built for like almost a century to put together this bullshit product. The Yankees are a laughingstock around the league. And it's not my words, it's actually words of like pretty important baseball writers. The Yankees organization is viewed generally negatively, not positively, That's what I'm hearing from very esteemed sources. This Yankee organization is not viewed upon positively. Viewed upon as a bit of a laughingstock. The Dodgers actually kind of felt bad for us because they laughed at us, embarrassed us. They gave out the blueprint. They gave out the blueprint on how to beat the Yankees in public, and the Yankees ignored it because they are delusional. They're not interested in getting better. They're only interested in protecting themselves and protecting jobs. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. And I'm very sick of it. I'm very sick of it. But I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I am sick of it. Gunther, Yankees making historical errors. We make history. Hurrah! I think it's hard to be negative when you're a player's manager. I don't like Boone at all, but it seems like he just wants him to not get fazed by struggles. Well, how's it working out for him? But let's go back to this thing with Jazz, because that really pissed me off. And it wasn't necessarily Jazz's mistake. I'll tell you what pissed me off. It was Aaron Boone in public airing out the first base coach. Aired him out in order to protect his buddy Jazz. That's when I realized that there is a serious culture problem with the Yankees. It's very serious. And it's not going to change until Aaron Boone is fired. Aaron Boone thought that he could air out the first base coach, scream at him in public, while hide away his buddy Jazz Chisholm. Double standards. He even defended Jazz Chisholm afterwards, saying that it was born out of thoughtfulness. That play was thoughtful. Yeah, he's screaming out at his first base coach. It's time to start setting some standards here. There needs to be a change because the culture here is broken. Chris Yankee. There is no accountability in this team. Preach. There was no accountability with this team. There's no accountability with Hal Steinbrenner because he's on a yacht somewhere. I don't know if he really gives a shit. I don't know how much he's watched of this because I can't imagine any owner would watch this and say, this is going well. So that scares me. If Hal Steinbrenner is watching this, he's perfectly content with this, then there's something wrong. But if he's ignoring this, that also means there's something wrong. So it's scary. I don't know what's going on. Then you got Brian Cashman, who traded away Agustin Ramirez. And he's brought in this head case in Jazz Chisholm. And he doesn't, and Jazz Chisholm isn't even being managed. That's scary. Jazz Chisholm was a good player. But a good manager that would set some standards and discipline him would make him a better player. He traded away Narvaez for nothing. He traded away our top 10 catcher in the system for Bednar. who blew the game. He's flying through catchers now in the system. His awful Joey Gallo trade blew up in his face. Got Clayton Beater in return. How's Clayton Beater worked out for him? He traded him for someone who Aaron Boone refuses to use. Why did they make that trade for Ahmad Rosario? What was the point? I've not seen him. He's had one at bat since becoming a Yankee. One. What was the point? Where's he going to be used? What on the earth was the point in that? Aaron Boone has no idea what to do with the players that he's got on his roster. It's very clear. During that epic game, he had Caballero, who's a really good shortstop, play right field, and that error cost us the game. When Brian Cashman made that deal for Slater, while Rosario was just chilling on the bench, what was the point in making that trade? Because, I mean, what are you doing? He refused several trades for Peraza up until this season. And now you traded him for basically nothing. International bonus money or something. So there's no accountability for Brian Cashman either. He misread the market. If you really wanted Bednar, you could have gotten him in the offseason for a ton cheaper than what it costs you now. There's no accountability. Why did you wait to the deadline to get a third baseman? Games are precious. Why did they punt games in April and May? It's come back to bite you in the ass as you're sitting in third place right now. Jake pinch hitting Slater for Dominguez was nuts. Yes, Aaron Boone has no idea what to do with this roster. Almost the worst thing that Brian Cashman could do is actually give him a loaded roster. So as much as I criticize Brian Cashman, mostly for his lack of philosophy and misreading of prospects, I mean, trading away Agustin Ramirez is disgusting. But as much as I criticize him for all that, he's built a loaded roster. This roster is much better than the third place team. I promise you that. Much better. So then it has to be Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone has no idea what to do with this roster. He has no idea which arm to use. He has no idea who should be playing where. He has not a clue. And it's time for change. It is more than enough time for change. There is a culture problem here, guys. There's a culture problem. It's very obvious there's a culture problem. If you're airing out your first base coach in order to protect your arrogant player, there is a culture problem. And Aaron Boone is running out of excuses. He's running out of excuses. He says things like, I would never bench somebody for not playing hard. I would never bench somebody as long as they hustle. Whatever mistake they make, as long as they play hard and all that shit. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. Because I've already seen numerous examples of Jazz Chisholm just like lazily half jogging to first. Austin Wells. That Austin Wells mistake is actually worse than Jazz Chisholm's mistake. And he never got benched. That Austin Wells mistake was worse than anything I've seen from Anthony frickin' Volpe this year. He forgot how many outs there were. This is going much beyond Jazz Chisholm. This is Austin Wells. Volpe goes on and on and on. What is going on here? Sarge says Boone couldn't accomplish a well-planned toilet trip for a tribe of ill-behaved monkeys. Creative, and I respect it. Aaron Boone couldn't manage a fucking 7-Eleven. This is definitely on management, Celia. Exactly. When you have this talented of a roster, a way more complete roster than you did before, and you were still losing, you know it's on management. That game on Saturday, nothing happened. Nothing. Sitting with my buddy in Brooklyn in a bar watching that Yankee game. Nothing happened. Nothing. The only thing I saw was Jazz Chisholm make a stupid mistake and Aaron Boone air out his first base coach. After that, nothing happened. The Yankees didn't show up. Sunday. Today. Yankees didn't show up. And then, of course, they had the worst loss. And well, I mean, I'm not going to say it was the worst loss in decades because the Yankees are really showing them a lot of them. So I don't know what to say, but it was one of the more embarrassing ones. I'll give you that. The problem is Hal sucks. Well said, Edward. Good to see you in the chat. It's the first time I've seen you in the chat, so thank you for your comment, and I agree. This is an organizational thing. I don't know what role Hal Steinbrenner sets. As the owner, you set the standard. If you're blessed enough to inherit your father's legacy, wouldn't you want to do your father proud? Wouldn't you? People in the chat, if any of you have inherited something from your father, wouldn't you want to do that? Wouldn't you want to do your dad proud? Hal Steinbrenner is the opposite. He's inherited the New York Yankees, the biggest organization in sports, and he's like, I'll just hand it out to Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. Completely unaccountable people. I mean, what's going on here? If Hal Steinbrenner is watching these games and he's okay with that, and he doesn't think that any changes need to be made, then he needs to sell the team. He does. Because anyone with a brain that is watching this knows that there's a problem here. Anyone with a brain knows there's a problem. Chris Yankees, Derek Jeter, exactly, man. I read it out. Jeter's far from happy. You're seeing a lot of dynasty Yankees wanting nothing to do with this current Yankee team, including Jorge Posada. A-Rod's pissed at them. Jeter's pissed at them. Posada's pissed at them. Dynasty Yankees are pissed at this because it's their legacy as well. They set standards, and they're watching this little fuck nugget blowing pink bubbles, imploding everything that the Yankees stand for. And that's what Aaron Boone's doing. Every imbecile mistake, every ridiculous excuse further dents what this organization is. Every single time that he comes out with a ridiculous excuse defending Austin Wells, forgetting how many outs there were in the base paths, Jazz Chisholm for getting thrown out on a pop-up to second base, Anthony Volpe thrown to the wrong base, the Yankees losing God knows how many games in a row that they lost. It was 26 or 30 games or something like that. Lost count. It was ridiculous. Just last month. Every single time that you excuse that and you defend that, the spotlight is pointed at you and people don't take you seriously anymore. I don't take the Aaron Boone seriously. I would love to root for this Yankee team, but it's they treat you with us fans with such disrespect. It's really hard to get behind this because they treat us all like idiots. Aaron Boone saying that Jazz Chisholm's mistake was born out of thoughtfulness. It's absurd. There's nothing thoughtful about that. Just call it out. It was stupid. What are you doing? Stop protecting people that don't deserve to be protected. Old Sarge is right. Hal has severe daddy issues. Maintaining Yankee brand is a fucking cash register. Sarge is your best point. Hal has severe daddy issues. He does. I have never once heard him say anything positive about his old man. Never once. My God, if I inherited the New York Yankees from George Steinbrenner, I could never be George, but I would make sure that those standards were very much in place. Win or F off. It's very simple, right? Like me or loathe me, but you will respect me. It's basically what George Steinbrenner always said. He didn't care if anybody liked him. Why should he give a fuck? He didn't give a fuck. But by fuck, they will respect him. Hal Steinbrenner is the opposite. He wants everybody to like him. And Aaron Boone's very much like that. Please be my friend. I will be your friend. We'll be best friends. We'll sing Kumbaya and we'll watch Barney the Friendly Dinosaur together and we'll watch Disney movies and just be little cucks together and circle jerk and sing songs. That's what Aaron Boone wants. George cared about winning. Hal cares about the money. Hal Steinbrenner, Hal doesn't lie. He says it time and time and time again. Bondsman, I want salary cap. This payroll is unsustainable. It's not about winning. It's not about winning with Hal Steinbrenner. I'm not going to say that he completely doesn't care, because I'm not him. He might care a fraction. But he doesn't care enough. He does not care enough. It's more than enough time to fire Aaron Boone. More than enough time. It's been years. You don't want to pay him the extra years because you've given him the new contract, which you shouldn't have given him. Suck it up, Buttercup. Pay him off. Bring in a new manager. Oh, Aaron Judge be mad at you? Gives a fuck. Go and win. That's all that matters. That's all that should matter. It's not about friendships anymore. You can still text them. You can still go meet them. Have a beer after the game. But there should be some standards set. And the best way of setting a standard is tomorrow morning firing Aaron Boone. I don't care who comes in. Make the bench coach. I don't care. At least you're setting a standard. At least you are making a statement. This is unacceptable. We got swept by the Marlins. Brian Cashman's giving you an epic team. And you just got swept by the Miami Marlins. For the first time in our history, we're now in third place behind the Red Sox. Third place. We're closer to missing the playoffs than being in the playoffs. If that's not enough reason to fire a manager, then nothing is. Do you want some more imbecilic answers from Aaron Boone? Well, I'll get them for you. Because Chris Kirschner has been doing some very good work. He's been doing some very good work. And he asked some very interesting questions on Mr. Bubbles. And Aaron Boone had some truly remarkable answers. So here we go. Chris Kirschner asked Aaron Boone. I asked Boone why base running mistakes continue to happen after he says they can't happen. Here's the exchange. Shout out to Chris Kirschner, by the way. Question. You guys have had a lot of base running mistakes. Boone replies, have we? Have we? Yes, you moron. So Kirschner answers in the affirmative. And he goes, why do you feel like they keep happening? A few days ago, you said it can happen. It happens a few days later. Why does it continue? Great question. Thank God. Now, here's Aaron Boone. Now, this is a minute and a half monologue diatribe of bullshit. Okay, guys? So I'm going to read this out. And if none of you can make any sense of it, don't blame me. Blame Aaron Boone, your manager. Because this is what he said. This fucking diatribe of horseshit. This is what Aaron Boone said. You're going to make some mistakes in the bases. I would argue with you that we're not making, and compared to the league, a number of outs advancing or outs on the bases. As Michael Scott says from The Office, please explain to me like I'm 5. So let's try and read that sentence again. I would argue with you that we're not making, and compared to the league, a number of outs advancing or outs on the bases. Are you well, Aaron? Anyway, he says, I don't think that's true. I'll dig into some more. I looked into it a few weeks ago. Aaron, you're the manager. You should be looking at this daily. A few weeks ago. I looked at it a few weeks ago. So your boss comes to you, right? Your boss goes to you and says, you're weeks behind in your reports, your daily reports. Where are they? And then you reply, well, I looked at it a few weeks ago. I looked fine a few weeks ago. Holy shit, you would get fired. Anyway, there's no accountability with this guy. I looked at it a few weeks ago. Okay, cool. Well, how about now? You fucking moron. When you are the New York Yankees and you're losing and you make a mistake, look what just happened. I can show you around the league. It happens all the time. No, it doesn't. You fucking clown. It doesn't make it okay. You're trying to make it okay, you idiot. We want to be as clean and as perfect as we can be, without question. Don't get it twisted. Don't think, oh yeah, it's fine. It's not fine. Dude, a minute ago, you just denied that it was real. You just denied that there was any base running errors. And now you're admitting it and saying that it's fine or not fine or whatever you're trying to say, you fucking idiot. But shit happens sometimes, he says. Yeah, that's your manager. That's your manager, guys. Oh, shit happens. Shit shouldn't fucking happen. Fix shit. So let's get into more of this diatribe of nonsense. Really good teams that are buttoned up make a mistake trying to advance or run into an out or kick a ball. What are you fucking talking about? Again, are you well? What is your major malfunction, Aaron? What does that mean? Really good teams that are buttoned up make a mistake trying to advance or run into an out or kick a ball. Kick a ball? It's not soccer. What are you talking about? We have to be better. Don't get it twisted. Dude, that falls on deaf ears when at the start of the question, when you were asked about your base running mistakes, you went, are we making any? Yeah, you're making some. A lot. And here we go. Aaron Boone's favorite bit. It's right here in front of us. This is how he ends his statement. We have really good players. I think we have a really good team. We haven't realized their potential yet. We got to get there. Got a couple months to do it. Better hurry. Hal Steinbrenner better hurry and fire your fucking ass. Because that was horseshit. It's just absurd, man. What a ridiculous answer. What a ridiculous answer. None of that made sense. All that says to me is no accountability. Absolutely none. What a lot of horseshit. Sarge, I've enjoyed my vacation, my man. I had a cocktail. I'm good. I was getting comments going, Donald, please do a podcast. We really need to hear from you. So here I am. Don't want to disappoint my fans. Part of me wants them to miss the postseason. Maybe then they'll see something wrong with this guy. I agree with you, Celia. Unfortunately, here's the thing with the Yankees, right? The Yankees are like, well, they're delusional, right? What is it that they say about people that have a problem, like an addiction? They always talk about rock bottom, right? Maybe rock bottom. Maybe if they hit rock bottom, they'll suddenly realize that they need to turn their lives around. They need to make changes and they need to be better, right? The Yankees have been hitting rock bottom constantly. Dude, they're like the Titanic now. They keep hitting the same iceberg, right? They hit the iceberg, they reverse and hit the iceberg again, and they keep doing it. There's no rock bottom with this team because they make more excuses. They keep firing out the excuses. I'm begging for the Yankees to realize that there's a problem. The ample evidence is there. They're in third place. Right? They've been lapped. They haven't won a World Series since 2009. Okay? The last time they made it, last season, the team that beat them laughed at them. Laughed at them. The Yankees' beloved shortstop, who they passed on several star free agents to push him through the system, has imploded this season, speaking to a really poor development process once they reach the big leagues. The Yankees refuse to look at it. The Yankees are one of the worst base running teams in the majors. Last time I checked, they're like 25th in the majors, something like that. They are not above average. They're well below average running the bases. Nothing changes. They're a terrible fundamental team. They make ridiculous mistakes. Nothing changes. If that is not a sign that something is wrong, when Derek Jeter, the icon of the New York Yankees, is saying there's a problem, when A-Rod, one of the greatest players to ever play baseball, says there's something wrong, the Yankees should listen, but they don't. They refuse to. They are delusional. They are only interested in their own jobs. They're not interested in winning. They're interested in their own jobs. So when the Yankees make the wild card, I'm sure they will. They're not that awful that they'll miss the playoffs altogether. Part of me hopes that they do. But even if they do make the wild card, they're going to lose. They're losing the DS. But I know this Yankee team, they're going to call it success. Oh, we made the playoffs. What's wrong with you? You're spoiled. We'll get that shit again. And then they'll look for excuses. Aaron Judge was injured for 10 days. We lost Garrett Cole. Blah, blah, blah. Rinse and repeat. Aaron Boone had a great year. All of baseball would be clamoring to have Aaron Boone as their manager. Blah, 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 blah. More excuses. That's what this Yankee team is. It's just excuses in order to have their comfortable jobs. As much as I despise Cashman, he did a damn good job of getting pieces at the deadline to give Boone a team that can win. I believe if Boone fucks this up, he might actually get fired. Dude, I hope so, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Because Brian Cashman said a couple of years ago that it's not about wins and losses. He actually said it. It's not about wins and losses as long as they follow the process. And this is what Brian Cashman's process is. What is Brian Cashman's process, by the way? Because his process sucks. Malcolm's right. Cashman created the problem. I'm not giving Cashman a break because he overpaid at the deadline for some arms that he probably could have gotten in the offseason. Shit like, oh, we need some swing and miss out of the bullpen. I was saying it since last winter. We need some swing and miss out of the bullpen. The Yankees ignored it. Then they had to give up a bunch of their top prospects in order to get some swing and miss in their bullpen. Could have gotten done in the offseason. I've been screaming, they need a third baseman. Brian Cashman ignored it. Then had to give up a bunch of prospects in order to bring in a couple of third basemen at the deadline. He could have gotten Rosario for money in the offseason. Did nothing. I'm not going to give Brian Cashman the benefit of the doubt for that. He doesn't read his prospects. He has no idea. He just give up Agustin Ramirez. He should have been protected. He's fantastic. He just mashed. He's protecting Austin Wells, who sucks. Got Jazz Chisholm saying and doing stupid things. What is this process that he's talking about? What is this process of first base? Signs a 37-year-old to play first base. And he's shocked that he has no power anymore. Goldschmidt doesn't even have double-digit home runs. He's like 9. 8. He has no power. Can't hit righties. It's a problem. Kicks the can down the line. What is his process? We went from having no closers to about 5. What is his process? I don't know what his process is. Peraza could have gotten us a very good player a couple of years ago. Now we couldn't get him for international bonus money. And he didn't bring in the starting pitcher. And then cut Marcus Stroman, who he signed. He's not getting any credit for me. He cut a guy that he overpaid. An asshole that he overpaid. Stroman was a complete asshole. Old Sarge, the process is to fashion a team that can win 90-plus games a season, make the playoffs, and keep the cash register ringing. Yep. I don't think he's a dud. I like Spencer Jones. I just don't know what the Yankees are going to do with him. Prospect hugging to the rescue, Yankee process. That's what they do. If Boone can't manage that's a fucking great point by him. And if Boone can't manage a team with this payroll, how can he manage a team with a lesser payroll? It's a fantastic point. What did he say? What did they say about Aaron Boone, that they had to extend him despite picking up his option? Every team in the league is desperate for Aaron Boone. Fucking lie. You liars. You complete liars. And you deserve everything you're getting right now. They deserve this. I've never felt this disrespected as a fan. I think this is the only organization that I root for that completely disrespects their fan base, completely disrespects them, completely gaslights them, tells them that they're morons, and blames them. Because that's what the Yankees do to their fans now. That's what they do. What did they do when they missed the playoffs, right? What was the narrative? Oh, they booed Aaron Hicks and Josh Donaldson. It was a very difficult environment for them. That was the excuse that they ran with a couple of years ago. Oh, they're very harsh with Anthony Volpe. They keep booing him every error they make. Excuses. Just disgusting. The Knicks don't do that to their fans. The Giants don't do that to their fans. They don't blatantly just blame the fans. The Yankees do. Why do the Yankees do that? It's not because they actually think that the Yankee fans are stupid. They're just trying to protect their own jobs. Exactly, Tyler. Boone is not a manager. He's not. he can't manage anything. He doesn't manage people. He doesn't manage players. He's not a good communicator because none of these guys are playing hard. Jake, the offense is inconsistent too. Goldie's aging right in front of us. Wells is a failure. Volpe is a failure. Man is a K machine. Just too consistent. Yeah. You have a game where you score like 1 million runs and still lose. And then the offense doesn't show up the rest of the series. Very inconsistent. And that's what's going to happen in this playoffs. When they make it, if they make it, do the same thing. This Yankee team is very good at stockpiling runs. But when it comes to hitting in the clutch, they don't really do it. Tyler's right. He makes think that they're smarter than everyone else. When they clearly aren't. Exactly. And by the way, why does Aaron Boone get angrier with people that ask him questions than he is with the players that embarrass him and embarrass his organization? Why is that? He was yelling, "I don't care what you think," to Talking Yanks. He yelled at a bunch of Yankee writers screaming, "Anthony Volpe is fucking elite." Chris Kirshner asked him a question about his team's terrible base running, and he denied there was any base running problems. Meredith Marakovich asked him a question, and he yelled at her too. He's a nasty piece of work, this guy. He's very defensive. And as a life lesson, guys, if someone's defensive, there's usually a reason why. He's defensive because he knows that his game is up. Aaron Boone's game is up. The worst possible thing that could have happened to him as a manager is Brian Cashman giving him the stacked team, which he knows he can't manage. Because then his excuses are going to run out. Lou, oh no, Lou, don't. Come on. This team is not bad. Other teams are better. That's all. Oh, Lou. This team is not bad. Other teams are better. What are you? Am I talking to Aaron Boone? Are you seriously saying that the Miami Marlins are better than this Yankee organization? Are you saying that the Boston Red Sox have a better roster than the Yankees? Are you saying the Baltimore Orioles have a better roster than the Yankees? Because all these teams have beaten the Yankees. The Yankees lost a game to the Colorado Rockies. The Yankees have lost games to the A's. None of these teams are better than the Yankees. The Yankees are just dumb. Exactly. The Yankees have a better roster than a ton of these teams. But they are playing below their level. And the reason why they're playing below their level is because Aaron Boone allows them to play below their level. He doesn't manage with any urgency. And don't take my word for it. How about take Ben Rice's word for it? Yeah, it seems to be that maybe one of the Yankee players is starting to pick up on the culture problem. Because Ben Rice said something very interesting and very revealing. He spoke out of turn. He spoke out of turn, and you know that Aaron Boone's going to hate that. Because this is what Ben Rice said on the Yankees' recent struggles. I think a little sense of urgency would be good for us. Thank you. Ben Rice, you are my hero. Benny Rice said, for old Sarge, I think a little sense of urgency would be good for us. Who is that targeted to? That's targeted to his manager. Exactly. Jake is right. That's what I mean. And you know what that shows? That means that Boone isn't showing any urgency. He's not showing urgency. So Ben Rice is saying, you know what? Maybe some urgency would be a good thing for us. Watch how the Yankee PR people will try and downplay that. Expect Aaron Boone to go on the defensive. Expect Zillow, the Yankees' PR machine head. Expect Brian Cashman to get involved. Maybe get Aaron Judge to downplay it. Because the Yankees' Death Star, that they call themselves, is really just like El Yankee-Zera. This is basically it's just a network of propaganda, right? And one of their own just spoke out of turn and just went, "There's no urgency here." He just said it. So I expect the Yankees to try and shut him up, but good for Ben Rice. I respect the hell out of Judge as a player, but as a leader, he's not that for me. Because a true leader that truly cares about winning would absolutely make that statement. But all he does is defend Aaron Boone. All he does is just defend this nonsense. Exactly, Rasheel. Judge is not a leader. We need to stop that propaganda. There is no leadership, full stop. You could argue that the only leadership I've seen from this Yankee organization has been Ben Rice, but he's just saying what he just said right there. I would have thrown fucking Boone overboard in Miami. Yes, we're not allowed to question the great Aaron Boone. I'm just tired of being disrespected. I'm tired of watching Aaron Boone disrespect media members, which he does a lot. The way he speaks to Meredith Morokovich whenever she asks him a question is disgusting. He doesn't treat her with any respect. Fuck him. He goes on these podcasts talking Yanks and he speaks down to them. I don't care what you think. That's what he said. Say what you want about talking Yanks, but I'll tell you what. How dare he say I don't care what you think? That's so disrespectful. Chris Kirshner, you keep saying that these base running mistakes can't happen, but they keep happening. He's like, do they? Yeah, they do. You asshole. It's embarrassing, man. I'm tired as a fan of being disrespected as a fan. No other organization does this to their fans. This level of disrespect. Now, I'm not saying that that, for instance, the Pirates organization isn't a complete disgrace for what they do to their fans because they just refuse to spend and refuse to compete, right? But from the Yankees level, their elite level, the way that they speak down to us, I've never seen it. I just haven't. It doesn't happen in the Mets. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. We deserve better as fans. We deserve to have our voice back. One of the reasons Boone is still here is because of Judge. And that is why I will never, ever buy into Judge as a captain. Because if Aaron Judge truly believed in winning, truly cared about winning, he would see that having his best buddy as manager is hurting his chances of winning a title. Judge needs to be selfish here. Judge's prime is running out. And his doofus of a best friend, who's running this organization to the ground, is costing Aaron Judge a chance of winning a title. And that would be a great shame. Although I don't think Judge is much of a leader, he is an unbelievable ball player. He's one of the greatest ball players I've ever seen. And Judge needs to be selfish here. He needs to be looking at his career. His prime is running out quickly. And he should be hell-bent on winning a World Series. Doing what it takes. And the first step is to get rid of this asshole clown of a manager who embarrasses the Yankees on a daily basis, embarrasses the brand, embarrasses the pinstripes, embarrasses the legacy, embarrasses the previous dynasty, embarrasses Derry Jeter, embarrasses A-Rod, embarrasses Jorge Posada, embarrasses the fan base. That's what Aaron Boone is doing. I won't put up with it anymore. I will not root for an Aaron Boone clown show anymore. It's time for change. It's more than enough time for change. Notice how Gleyber Torres left the Yankees looks different. Exactly. Facts. This lie, these lies, the PR Yankee machine, where they're saying that every team in the majors would fall all over themselves to get Aaron Boone as their manager, is such an embarrassment. When Aaron Boone is getting owned by every single manager in the American League East, the Blue Jays manager owning them, Alex Cora fucking beats the piss out of Aaron Boone. Alex Cora is 100 times better manager than Aaron Boone. 100 times, at minimum. Are you telling me that the Padres would fire their manager to bring in Aaron Boone? You think the Dodgers, who just won a title against Aaron Boone's team of buffoons, while their players were laughing at us, laughing at our lack of fundamentals, calling it Yankee defense, quote unquote, you think they'd fire their manager to have Aaron Boone? The lies do not stop. Alex Cora is Aaron Boone's daddy at this point. I would love to swap, right? I want it to be like one of those things where they do a swap, right? Aaron Boone runs that Dodger team. Right, fuck it. How about Aaron Boone runs that Red Sox team. I want to see Aaron Boone running Alex Cora's Red Sox team. They wouldn't win a game. They'd win 0 games. If he managed them for a month, they'd win no games. They don't have a very good roster. Aaron Boone would win no games with that team. If Alex Cora was the Yankee manager, the Yankees would be in first place. So this idea that Aaron Boone is the best manager in baseball is a complete lie. It's a lie. It's a lie to protect jobs. It's a lie to protect people in high places. Welkin's right. Boone's getting extended. Judge will see to that. Preach. A lot of good teams struggling against good pitching, not just the Yankees. The Yankees do it a lot. And Celia's right. This team would never win a World Series with Aaron Boone. And I'm telling you guys that right now. And I mean this. The Yankees will never win a World Series with Aaron Boone as manager. It will never happen. It will never, ever happen. You guys can bookmark this. You guys can come back to this. But I can promise you that the Yankees will never, ever win a World Series with Aaron Boone as manager. It just will not happen. I've seen more than enough. I've seen more than enough. Aaron Boone had Juan Soto and Aaron Judge absolutely mashing to historic levels last year. And he still didn't win the World Series. Prior to that, they missed the playoffs. Prior to that, they got embarrassed in the Wild Card. Prior to that, they get swept in the ALCS. Aaron Boone is a terrible manager. He's below 500 in the playoffs. Mark is asking, how do you know Cora would have them in first? Cora's okay, but come on. Cora's won a title, one. Cora has this pretty ass Red Sox team. Without Devers, ahead of the Yankees. Cora continually beats the shit out of the Yankees, even when the Red Sox are awful, like they were last season. Swept the Yankees at one point last year. Stole like 10 bases in one game. I mean, come on. I've seen more than enough. Cora is getting more of that Red Sox team than Aaron Boone can get out of this stacked Yankee team. That's why I know that Cora would get more out of this Yankee team than Boone would get out of that Red Sox team. Like it's as close to a fact as it gets. I'm not saying Cora is some Hall of Fame manager, but he gets more out of less than Aaron Boone. Well, you're not wrong there, Mark. It is the organization. And as I said, I've called out Hal in this past hour and 34 minutes. I've called out Brian Cashman. But Aaron Boone sets the lack of urgency, the lack of fundamentals, the terrible base running, the excuses, excusing the absolute inexcusable. He excuses. He said that Jazz Chisholm's ridiculous base running error was made out of thoughtfulness. I mean, come on. Wilkins right. The org didn't tell Boone to pitch Nestor Cortez. I mean, Boone's awful management was part of the reason why they lost the World Series in the first place. Yet they extended him, and that's how arrogant the Yankees are. Aaron Boone is not a good manager. He is a bad manager. He's getting found out this year. And normally, media members who fall over themselves to defend Aaron Boone because he's a member of their alumni are now starting to separate from him because they see that he treats them with disrespect now because he's defensive and he's arrogant and he's delusional. You have to change the culture, but that starts with the manager. Malcolm's right. If Boone managed the Dodgers, never win it. No chance. Get rid of the beards. I don't really care about the beards, but they need to change the culture. Facial hair or no facial hair, they need to change the culture. The culture needs to change. But the change cannot happen with Aaron Boone because he's the one that's overseeing this culture. If I were in charge of the Yankees, Boone would be gone right now, instantly. And I wouldn't even thank him either. I'd make a public show out of it. Because by God, I am sick of watching the Yankees embarrass themselves. I'm very sick of it. If I was owner of the Yankees for 24 hours, I would call a press conference with me on the left and Aaron Boone on the right, and I'd be going, this guy has overseen one of the most embarrassing declines in the history of sports. This historic organization is getting embarrassed on a daily basis because of this guy. That's what I would do. Should have been fired years ago. Of course he should have been fired years ago. He should never have been hired in the first place. This Yankee team would probably have won a World Series or two had they just hired Rob Thomson before he went to the Phillies. Oh, by the way, do you think the Phillies would fire Rob Thomson in order to hire Aaron Boone? The Yankees are so arrogant, it's disgusting. They have no respect for the rest of the league. They think that they're better than everybody when they're not. Boone will be replaced with someone just like... I mean, I don't disagree because the Yankees are obsessed with their process. But they still need to make a change. I don't think there's many people that are like Aaron in terms of so extremely optimistic, so extremely defensive, and so much like Barney the Friendly Dinosaur. I have never seen anybody like that. That's not something that you normally come across in society. He's the extreme case. So even if they did hire somebody with similar traits, I still can't imagine that somebody would be as remotely like Aaron, where he says some of the stupidest things you've ever heard in your entire life. But every single stupid thing that Aaron Boone says filters through to that locker room, and that locker room engenders his personality. Austin Wells, get himself thrown out. Anthony Volpe, do it again. Jazz Chisholm, do it again. Aaron Judge, it's just, there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Always tomorrow. This whole team is taking on Aaron Boone's persona. There's always tomorrow. Always tomorrow. And then when tomorrow doesn't come because they've just lost and they get knocked out in October, there's always next year. It's always about turning the page. Well, the page is up. Book's finished. The excuses are up. I'm not buying any more excuses. It's done. So you guys can bookmark this. I promise you we will not win the World Series with Aaron Boone as a manager. Promise you. And when we get knocked out in October, and if Aaron Boone remains in his job, it will be a disgrace. It will be an absolute disgrace. And nothing will change. They need to start setting some standards here. Anyway, that is my rant. I'm going pretty strong. It's now almost 20 to 1 in the morning on the East Coast. I think I've covered everything. And if there's anything that I haven't covered, I will cover with Uncle Taz and Rob tomorrow morning. But I had a pretty good turnout for this late night rant. Plenty on YouTube, plenty on X that we're watching. So for those that are watching on X, if you guys could hop over to YouTube, hit that like button. If you agree that Aaron Boone needs to be fired, hit that like button. Everybody hit that like button. If you believe that it's time to make a change, fire Aaron Boone, hit that like button right now. Let's build up that algorithm. Not just hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, hit the sub button as well as we try and climb up, because we want this to start. We want to give a voice to our fans that deserve a voice, because the Yankees are drowning your voice out, and I won't allow it. I don't want to allow it. So you guys have a voice here on this channel. Make your voices heard. Let's get some changes here. Let's make the Yankees what they were. It's time. Because, I can't do this anymore with this just arrogance and disgraceful treatment that the Yankees treat their fans. I'm just not going to do it anymore. Time to be better.